Morning Pittsburgh Sports Report on Trib Live. Guy Junker, Ken Laird over at the Steelers complex yesterday, Guy. The team was back to a more regular season-like practice, but they were spitting optimism over there. News reports from multiple sources, including our Allen Robinson, that Mike Wallace is expected to return soon and end his holdout. Max Starks is back with the first team. His knee should be okay.
Isaac Redman feels 10 times better than he did last week. All is well with the world. And you can't call me Guy until the labor situation is straightened out.
Okay, sorry about that. We're in a lockout.
All right.
And James Harrison said he might be back for the opener. So these are all very qualifying words. Might be back, should be okay, holdout probably will end. But taken as a large sum, that's good news for the franchise.
Yeah, based on almost every day, there's been some sort of negative news since they first reported to St. Vincent. So I have my doubts about Harrison. Jason Worlds has taken an awful long time to heal. I'm worried about the thinness at linebacker and the thinness at running back to start the season. Obviously, Wallace coming back would be a huge boost for the offense. And if you're looking long-term, still got a couple of weeks before that opener in Denver. Maybe they do negotiate a long-term deal in that 2-week period if he reports this Sunday, as is the rumor. So maybe not only are we going to get him back for this year, but maybe all is not lost for him staying a Steeler long-term.
Yeah, you could really pick all four of those items apart and look at the negative, because Wallace, if he comes back and signs for $2.7 million, is he a bad character guy? Is he upset that he didn't get the long-term deal? There's no guarantee he's going to be a happy customer all year long, and who knows, throwing fits on the sidelines.
But, I'll tell you what, that doesn't bother me too much, Ken, and here's why. Because if his plan is to sign the tender and he's angry and he wants to get out, he's playing for a contract for another team. So even if it's for selfish reasons, he needs to perform well this year. So I'm not too worried about it.
You're more worried about Harrison's knee. I think Starks and his knee, he basically told us out of training camp a week and a half ago, he's not going to know until he tries it. I mean, he thinks it's okay. He was saying probably the fourth preseason game at the time, but he hasn't tested it. This is not like a neck injury. He and Harrison both have to come back and plant and cut and have lots of weight on top of them, and there's no guarantee either of those guys make a full season, let alone half a season.
Is lots more weight than
exactly.
Well, I think today's going to be a key day, and he said yesterday, before he would say anything about playing in Buffalo Saturday, he wanted to see how it feels this morning, today, after a first real day of practice yesterday. So hopefully there's not a lot of swelling, and even in the next few hours we may know a lot more about that.
And the running backs, it's good news that Isaac Redman doesn't have a groin injury per the MRI, but, hip injury, is that any better for a tailback? And, Mendenhall is off the PUP list, but very doubtful he's going to play until week 4 or 5.
Right. Watching a little bit of
I just turned it all negative, didn't I?
Yeah, you turned it all around. Watching a little bit of Redman yesterday, he did seem a couple times to stop, pause, and kind of be flexing his hip and lifting his thigh and trying to feel whatever it was he was feeling. So I'm not totally convinced that if they opened the season tomorrow that he'd be out there carrying the ball 20 times.
Developing Stories will be on it. Take a look at our sports page here on Trib Live and check out the great assembly of Steelers writers, Allen Robinson, Mark Caballi. And join us on the radio. Guy Junker, Ken Laird, soon to be Guy Junker when the lockout ends in hockey in a couple months. This is Trib Live Radio, Morning Pittsburgh Sports Report.